Zachary.
What are you doing here?
I don't know.
Do you know why we're here?
Kind of.
We're here to roast that guy over there, John. It's a roast.
How is John going to fit into that little oven?
I think we need a bigger oven.
Me too.
Did you want to say something to these nice people?
Yes. I would like to thank you all for coming on the behalf of Easter Seals.
Did you want to say something else? No? I thought you wanted to say one more thing. What do I do? What's my job here?
What is this? Hey, who let you be the MC anyways? I think I should be the MC.
I think everybody in the crowd would want you to be the MC. What do you think, crowd? Now, we have a presentation to show you from Tom Jones. Now, Tom is away and he couldn't be here this evening. Boy, that's a lucky guy. Now, how many of you know that last month Tom Jones had an audience with the Pope when he was over in Italy? No, it's true. He was over there, and he asked the Pope to make him a cardinal. And the surprising part is the Pope's actually considering it. And so it may happen. All of Tom's employees are really pulling for him because then they'll only have to kiss Tom's ring. Now, if you're ready, Dave, let's hit the video.
The life and times of John Joseph Trevisanutto. Does this poor bride know what she's getting herself into? Who says small cars aren't big? For the 10th time, officer, I'm not one of those Hell's Angels. Who said you can't make a hat out of a bread bowl? Who would have the unmitigated gall to try to pass me? My daughter made me do it. What can I say? I was always horny. Diabetes pinup model. Dapper Dan. Sumo in training. Big boys daycare. Still in daycare, daycare 2. Nice hillbilly teeth. Nice hair, too. Christmas morning hangover. Swiss Connection 1. Swiss Connection 2. The things you have to do to get a Nissan dealership. Sure as hell isn't as much fun as racing. Happiness is. The early days, the thin days, before the cooking thing. Proud father. A contractor he is not. Getting caught fooling around again. Considers himself a great chef, but humble enough to realize he's not yet the best. When he's hungry, he'll eat anything, cooked or not.
Good morning, folks. We're doing street interviews here with Halfway Motors customers, and we have our first one here now. What's your name, sir?
Toivo Siistonen.
What?
Siistonen, S-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-T-O-N, Siistonen, Toivo Siistonen.
How do you like your new Nissan car?
Oh, that's good car, a lot of power, you know.
Why did you choose to buy a new Nissan?
Well, you know, I got the old Chevy Impala and it's getting pretty rusty, so I was going on Memorial Avenue. I see that new building, nice one. They tell me it was built on time and under budget, so I went in there right away. I went in the showroom and I like to talk to the boss, so I asked, where's the boss at? And they said, over in the corner, so I was heading to the corner, but some big, ugly guy with the long hair and the beard, looked like a biker to me, scared the shit out of me, so I ran and hid in one of those smaller offices, you know. But in there was beautiful Russian girl, you know, with the high-heeled shoes and the fancy suit and the big bumps on the front, you know. Oh, I like that one. And you know, in 5 minutes she sold me a Nissan right away. You know, her name was Olga from the Volga, and oh, she was a nice girl, and I'm happy on that Nissan, you know.
Would you recommend that any member of the public would buy a new Nissan?
Oh, yeah, they should go down and check out that new building in Olga from the Volga. They got the good cars there, but you got to watch out for the bikers. A lot of bikers hang around there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's certainly a pleasure for me to be asked to participate in this fundraiser for Easter sales. And at the same time, we get to honor and poke a little fun at one of our favorite little car dealers. Well, little doesn't fit. John's a big guy, and we may as well get going right here. He's so big that they haven't found the last chair he was sitting on. Look at him. It's hard to believe he was the fastest out of millions of sperm. Now, I'm an accountant by profession, and I haven't sweat this much since my last tax audit. We all know how boring accountants can be, so no surprise they chose me to speak first. I'm supposed to play the dull guy to make the other speakers shine tonight. That includes our Master of Ceremonies. Johnny T is an important BDO client, so I'm hesitant not to offend him. Seeing as I'm retiring soon, I really don't give a damn. I finally get to say what I really think. I've always looked at John as a well-rounded individual. To most people, well-rounded is a person having all of the right attributes. Bright, personable, successful, etc., etc. What I mean is well-rounded. At the gym, he's often mistaken for the exercise ball. Well, that is not correct. John would have to be 2 inches shorter to be perfectly round. Now you can see that John was pretty round from an early age. He once wore a Goodyear hat, was mistaken for the blimp. Now most of us know this year's roastie in one capacity or another. When I first heard the term roastie, it made me think of a nice, big, juicy, roasted turkey. When you think of Johnny T, I think you probably get the same picture. Nice, big, round, roasted turkey. Now that analogy may not be fair. John is actually a very sophisticated car dealer. Now, sophistication and car dealers are not terms that generally go together. But in fact, there are a number of fairly sophisticated car dealers in this city. We have George Badani. We have Michael Camuzzi. We have Bruno Nader. And of course, the most sophisticated of them all, our guest of honor here tonight, Johnny T. With John, success has never gone to his head. To his ass, to his stomach, to his thighs, yeah, but not to his head. Being a car dealer was not always John's dream. No kid dreams of being a car dealer. There was a time when he wanted to be a cowboy. Okay? Can you imagine the poor horse? He wanted to be an NHL hockey player. Can you picture John ripping down the ice? Now, if you can see the logo on the sweater, in fact, I think the Maple Leafs might be better off if he were there today. John wanted to be an archaeologist. No explanation required. And finally, He wanted to be a priest. Well, priests are honest. John's a salesman. So the die was cast and he did become a salesman. I've been driving Nissans for years through my association with John, and it's not so much the superb marketing, it's the guilt you feel when you don't buy from him. Consequently, we're on our 7th Nissan. My reward, 7 mugs with a flower. John, where are the cash incentives that everybody seems to be getting today? John's dad actually sold me my first Nissan. It was a Datsun at the time. Remember the Datsun? Does anyone know where they went? They pre-rusted them at the factory. Funny how the product line just disappeared. Matter of fact, I have a picture of my first Datsun. And I think my old Datsun has aged better than John. Now, the MC was kind of ripping off our lines, and I was going to talk about John's success. I used to be the auditor at Halfway Motors for years, and I was there when John propelled through the ranks and became the president. The MC got it slightly wrong. The president explained that they were soon retiring and was turning over the presidency to John, and John said, "Thanks." The president roared, "I'm turning over the presidency. You've been with Halfway Motors for less than a year, and all you can say is thanks." John amended, "Thanks, Mom." Family does have its privileges. John was on his way, and he never looked back. And he did become one of the leading car dealers in the city of Thunder Bay. He did learn the business from the bottom up, and if you knew his father, he had one heck of a mentor. Now, usually when you think of car salesmen, they're smooth and polished. With John, you get large and hairy. He often gets confused with that movie star, Chewbacca. When John goes to the barber, he takes off his shirt so they can cut his back. One can only shudder when you think about what's below that belt. John is so hairy, when he was born, they weren't sure if they needed a doctor or a vet. As a salesman, John's always got his eyes open for a deal. He's an astute car dealer. Always sensitive, quick to pick up or understand a situation. And if you know John, he's often called upon for counsel well beyond just the automotive industry. He once received a letter from a client. "Dear Mr. Trevisanutto, I hope you can help me. The other day I set off for work, leaving my husband in the house watching TV. My car started stalling, and then it broke down about a mile from the house. I had to walk back to get my husband's help. When I got home, I couldn't believe my eyes. He was in the bedroom with the neighbor's daughter. We've been married for 10 years. My neighbor's daughter is 23. When I confronted him, he broke down and admitted they'd been having an affair for the past 6 months. He won't go to counseling. I'm a wreck and need advice urgently. Can you please help me? Sincerely, Sheila." Dear Sheila, a car stalling after being driven a short distance can only be caused by a variety of faults. Start by checking that there's no debris in the fuel line. Well, you know the rest of that story. Okay? It was signed off. I hope that helps, John. Really, as a car dealer, John has not been tremendously successful. As a matter of fact, he's pretty much run the dealership into the ground. Look at the evidence. With Halfway, there have been many products over the years. As you can see by the dealership signs, talk about picking winners. Does anyone recall the Studebaker? Right? I am surprised I didn't see Edsel on the sign. Product line has been up and down more often than a hooker's skirt. Fiat, Jeep, Volvo, Datsun, the list goes on. The Trevisaunttos were even into groceries. John has an extensive car collection. All Datsuns. Who collects Datsuns? Right? He is one of the best car salesmen you can meet, and you've heard the saying, never trust a salesman. In John's case, it's only his beard that keeps him from being a bald-faced liar. John's a race car enthusiast. He started that at an early age. It's actually a Datsun, but the body rusted off. I am told that he started his racing career as a bit of a coward. Where most drivers want to be at the pole position, John always wanted to be at the back. But he eventually became a skilled driver. He was accomplished, heavy into racing. Then Revenue Canada audited his expense account. Goodbye racing. I've known John for a long time. What do we have in common? We both drive Nissans. He sells them, I'm stuck buying them. We're both motorcycle enthusiasts. He drives 20 to 30,000 kilometers per year. I work for a living. I like to sightsee when I ride. John just likes to ride. Like Mount Rushmore, 120 kilometers per hour, that's the best you get. We both like to eat. John is on a never-ending seafood diet. Seafood, he eats it. He tried to fool us tonight with a bowl of fruit here. He's a gym fanatic, goes religiously. Judging by his appearance, he and I have the same routine, socializing, no sweat. We both have lots of children, although I'm not sure where John's come from. They're all tall and handsome. In John's case, good looks obviously skipped a generation. Now, their good looks come from their mother. They're skinny. That comes from John. John's charitable nature, not really my area, but I can't help but make a few comments. John is so charitable that he has to be frugal. He drives a Versa so he can save money to donate. Next it will be the Cube. The problem is, how do you fit a big round ball in a small cube? Right? He would really like to have a smart car, but it's not a Nissan product. It's not always his money. He keeps giving away yours and mine. And I'm sure John has had his hand in your pockets. There's no question, it's expensive to be his friend. Advice, meeting with John, leave your checkbook at home. When John phones, do not pick up. He wants something. All kidding aside, we are here to celebrate a great community citizen. I joked about John's car dealership and running it down. In fact, the new facilities that grand opening yesterday are a good example of John and his family's commitment to this city. John has a passion for this community. Silken Lawman, a former Olympian, visited Thunder Bay this spring. She talked about passion. Not the passion for what you can do for yourself, but the passion for what you can do for others. When it comes to Johnny T, he has that kind of passion. If it sells a few cars along the way, that helps too. Johnny, I thank you for your commitment to this city, your honesty as a businessman, your giant heart, and your friendship. And thanks for choosing me to honor you here tonight.
Whew. I thought it was going to be easy to John. Later. I thought it was going to be easy to follow John, but he set a high bar there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Aldrich, and I'm so pleased to be here tonight to share some things you probably didn't know about my good friend Johnny T, and to be able to help raise some funds for Easter sales. What can I say about a man who's admired, revered, and loved by everyone? A man who is a loyal friend. A man of unquestionable honesty and integrity. A man who will always be there for you when you need him. I can start by saying, he's definitely not the guy we're here honoring tonight. Now that may be a little harsh. In all fairness, John does have many good qualities.
If you're ever in a bind and you need some help, he's the kind of guy that would give you the hair off his back. Thank you. None of us are comedians up here, so we're very nervous about things. John is a bit of a hairy guy, though, isn't he? He has been ever since he was a baby. When John was born, his mom spent a week in intensive care suffering from third-degree rug burns. I don't understand that one. My wife said I shouldn't do that one. But I did. Anyway, when John was brought home from the hospital, everyone said that he had the face of a saint. That would be a Saint Bernard. I know that I should be saying nice things about John, but it's way easier to tell the truth. John was born into a large family, and as with most large families, it was sometimes a struggle to make ends meet. John was brought into this world with absolutely nothing, and still has most of it left. Deja vu. I didn't want to change that. He didn't laugh for me, he didn't laugh for Jim. It's okay. You were supposed to laugh. Thank you. There were also all the normal stresses and conflicts that come about from being brought up in a large family. John, like most young boys, once ran away from home. Home? Home. His parents eventually managed to get word to him that if he didn't come home, all was forgiven. Think about it. I thought it was great.
I thought so too.
As you all know, John was raised in a good Italian family. An Italian family. He just loved his mom's pasta and couldn't get enough of it. He recently attended the plasma center and tried to donate, but they had to turn him away because his blood type was ragu. With meatballs. No. As the years went by, John grew into adolescence and started spending more time in front of the mirror. I'm supposed to wait. He became so impressed with his chin that he decided to add several more. John became quite the ladies' man in high school. Hard to believe, I know, but all the girls said that he was the epitome of dark and handsome. When it was dark, he was handsome. Don't worry, John. They say that your looks fade as you get older, which definitely gives you something to look forward to. Most of you would probably be very surprised to know that John was quite active in high school football. Yeah, I know. I don't recall exactly what position he played, but I seem to remember hearing a coach say that John was one of the team's biggest drawbacks. As John grew into manhood, and as you can see, he really grew into it, his friends started to worry about him. It all started when they noticed that it took John 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes. John started into the family business at an early age and learned the business from the bottom up. His fellow employees said that he did the work of 3 men. That would be Larry, Moe, and Curly. I started buying cars from John back in the late 70s and learned very quickly that John had a keen mind about the car business. I took my Datsun 710 into John because the brakes weren't working properly. When I came back at the end of the day, John told me that they couldn't find anything wrong with the brakes, so they put in a louder horn. John eventually ended up running the whole show and took to it like a duck to water. Whenever something goes wrong at work, John always has the answer. He can usually sum it up in one quick assessment. It's my fault.
Hello?
Yeah, I got it. Diane here. I'm not saying John is your typical car salesman, but you can always tell when he's stretching the truth. His lips are moving. You may remember that I mentioned before that John took to growing into manhood with great gusto. It's a bit of a mystery as to how John ended up with a plus-size body, because he's always been a light eater. Right. Once it's light, he starts eating. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying John's overweight, but he once jumped into the air and got stuck. Are these too high?
No, I'm not.
When John went to get his driver's license, his ID picture had to be taken from a satellite camera with a wide-angle lens. Apparently, if John could gain 5 more pounds, he'd qualify for group insurance. Okay. We all know that John loves his food, but I think that he should try to be a little more sophisticated. He once sent back an order of sushi because it was cold. If you spend Thanks, John. If you spend a lot of time with John, you know that if the government taxed intelligence, John would get one hefty rebate at the end of the year. Someone found out that I was going to be roasting John and said to be sure to mention what a moron he can be at times. I had to remind him that we were here to roast John, not pay him compliments. John, I know that I've been taking a lot of shots at you tonight, but I want you to know that if you ever need a friend, I'd be more than happy to find you one. Well, we really have been taking a lot of shots at John tonight, but I have to say that I don't know of another person who gives so freely of his time, talents, and our cash, that's our cash, to so many different causes. To me, there's no mystery to the fact that John's a plus-size guy. His heart's so big, it takes a body that size just to cover it up.
Tough crowd. I was in Nashville last night at the Country Music Awards. I don't know if anyone saw them on television. I'm a big country music fan. A lot of people don't know that, but I am. It's real music, you know, touches your soul. You know, in case you didn't see it last night, couple of big wins here. Joe Nichols won for Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off. Big song. Big song. Album of the Year, Billy Carrington, for My Wife Ran Off with My Best Friend, and I Sure Do Miss Him. Group of the Year, my favorite, Brooks and Dunn. They won for a song called Her Teeth Was Stained, But Her Heart Was Pure. And Single of the Year went to George Strait for She Took My Ring and Gave Me the Finger. So there, if you didn't see it last night because you were at John's deal, then, you know, now you know. And you know, just because I like country music doesn't mean I live in a house that still has a wide load sign on the back of it, okay? I can't burp and say my name at the same time. And I do know that genitalia is not an Italian airline. Just so you know. Sorry, Mauro. Now, while I was leaving last night, big treat. I know the Shania Twain thing was kind of a treat, but as I was leaving, I saw your favorite guy in the whole world, Larry the Cable Guy. Larry the Cable Guy. I don't know, anybody seen Larry the Cable Guy? Redneck comedy guys? Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, you're a big fan. So I told him all about you. He asked me to describe you and tell you what was, you know, I told him what was going on here tonight. So he said, well, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on out to the car. So from Larry to you, Larry the Cable Guy, he's got you a pair of Get Her Done underwear. Now look at the size of those things. Woo! Man. Now he said that it'll shrink. So, but there you go. Get her done. Just for you, John. From Larry the Cable Guy. So, a number of you know that I'm an advertising agent. I do some advertising work for some people, and John's one of my clients. But I have a feeling that after this evening, I anticipate I'm going to have an opening in the car dealer category. So I can help you with your business, help you stand out, and my number is this number right here. If you can call me tomorrow, I'd really appreciate it. So, how did I get chosen for this roast? I have to ask myself. This is a no-win for me. I mean, Tere McDonald just got your wiring contract on your building, so he's set this year. John's retiring. He's out of there, Aldrich sold his insurance company, so, and I still have to work for John. So after this, I have a feeling again that I'm probably going to be looking for a job tomorrow. So again, this is the number to call, and I'd appreciate that. Well, how long do I have up here, by the way? Stay up there until you get a laugh. All right, fair enough. So I was asked to speak about John the fundraiser, and he truly is amazing. He puts all of us to shame, and we anticipate that he shaved his head for cancer one time. I have a feeling that something like that's probably going to happen in the future. We're probably going to need a weed whacker this time. He constantly is the top pledge getter at the Ride for Dad. He's spearheads Motors and Muscles every year, that strongman competition for the hospital. And those are only a few of the things he's done. So he puts a lot of us to shame, like I said. And how does he do it? Well, we're doing a little investigation in this video coming up right here. Cue the video.
John Trevisanutto, fundraising giant. Thunder Bay residents have long wondered how John Trevisanutto continues to be one of the city's top fundraisers. What drives this man? Does he have strategies and secrets? We need to know. We begin by reviewing a breakdown of this fundraising wonder kid's daily activities, beginning with a hearty 4 a.m. breakfast, planning his next bike trip, sending internet jokes to his buddies, and yes, fundraising. Take note, extra work relating to his business accounts for just 2% of his daily routine. Firmly entrenched in the friendly confines of his plush executive office, Trevisanutto uses the latest technology to track each acquaintance. Nobody in his circle can escape his call for longer than 30 days.
Hello, Bill. John Trevisanutto. I need you to give $400.
Each day, members of Thunder Bay's top fundraising organizations line up outside his door to try and persuade him to take up their causes. They'll do anything to get him on board. Yes, we mean anything. His masterful tricks are legendary. Sensing some have been ignoring his cell phone calls, he has resorted to changing his cell phone number, taking on a different identity.
Fabio. Hello? Johnny. How much do you need now?
Meanwhile, at another office.
No, John Trevisanutto's on line 1.
John Trevisanutto. Oh, man. I just gave him $5 bucks. Hang on a second. Just tell him I'm gone riding, would you?
Okay, thanks, Bob.
His famous one-on-one visits can persuade almost anyone to donate. He'll snatch that cash quicker than Lee Bunnell drives through Ottawa.
Tere, this is a great chair. You got it. You gotta give something.
Not this again.
All right.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I mean, anything.
Every week it's something new. What is it now?
It's these kids in Africa, and they need horses, and they need shoes for the horses, and they need people to make the shoes for the horses. And so we actually provide the shoes for the people who make the shoes for the horses for the kids.
So there's a lot of horse here.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. How much you want now?
I mean, anything.
Let me see here.
What do you got in here?
Let me see what I have.
$200?
No, I got nothing here. Well, let's see what I got here. What happened to my wallet?
What wallet?
Hey, there's a wallet here.
I don't remember.
So how much you want? How much you want, John?
Let's make it 700.
700?
Yeah.
That's 300 more than last time.
Yeah, I mean,
How about 500? Is 500 good?
I don't know. You know,
Okay,
maybe
600.
600.
Okay, 600. Here it is. Go buy your horses.
Okay, we've tried to be good corporate citizens. We're constantly giving to local charities. We support and we buy local, but enough is enough. Now we're supporting, God, who knows, Save the Frogs in Malaysia, saving the people in Africa, curing athletes' foot for the Olympics. Now we've got to the point where we've got to get our receptionist to screen all of our calls. I'm a prisoner in my own building. Can somebody please tell John Trevisanutto that we really don't need any more plaques? Is this not enough?
He'll even stop at nothing to generate fundraising dollars, even from his paying customers. Here's a client at his parts counter, examining their service invoice. Labor, $36. Environmental fee, $4. Donation to John's charities, $25. Even a recent newspaper advertisement offers clues on how he raises funds. The answer can be found in the fine print. Taxes, license, registration, and donation to John's charity of choice extra. Very clever indeed. The fundraising giant has also been spotted skulking local malls, doing whatever it takes to find spare change to help his causes. Dirty looks, forget about it. And youngsters, you should be aware of his tactics too. You only thought you had money for candy. Even Barack Obama tried to enlist John in helping to help fund his controversial healthcare reform bill. But John told him to go screw himself after Obama agreed to give General Motors and Chrysler a controversial bailout. Relations have been cold ever since. To recap, here are 3 tips to avoid being his next target. Screen all calls carefully. Keep a list of excuses close at hand. Don't leave your office. And if that doesn't work, just give him whatever he wants. That's probably the best advice of all. John Trevisanutto, fundraising giant.
The credit list. Well, John, we worked together for a long time now, and you know, you were the first person who encouraged me to really go out on my own, and we've had a lot of fun together over the years. And you know, you've demonstrated to me how hard work and doing the right thing really pays off, and I think everyone in the room can certainly respect what you do and how you do it, even if it's somewhat outrageous at times. So again, I'm available tomorrow at this number. So thanks a lot, John.
This is Keith Hobbs of the Thunder Bay Police Association, and this is Crime Stoppers. During the period of September 28th to October 22nd, oddly enough, except days when NASCAR races or Harley-Davidson ownership group meetings are held, a number of Thunder Bay auto dealerships were the target of acts of mischief. These were not perceived acts of mischief, but the real thing. It appears that these acts of mischief are spiraling out of control, and we must take steps to protect these auto dealerships.
Okay, so I really don't know what the heck's going on around here. Somebody's been in playing with our price signs. I can't believe it. Some jerk came in the other day and asked for a car for $19. I want to get my hands on the guy that's pulling this off. What's going on around here?
We've had some mischief on the car lot recently. Someone let the air out of some tires on the cars over here, and they even left some poo on the front step here. I tried to catch the guy, but he was just too fast for me.
So Wayne, how's it going?
Not bad, things have been pretty good. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Oh, I think we sold about 300 cars this month.
300 cars? You got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah, no, it was pretty good.
Well, that's a little bit better than we did, but all in all, I can't really complain. Good for you, though.
Anyway, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Get serious. What kind of jackass did that?
Crime Stoppers and Thunder Bay's auto dealerships will pay a generous $100 cash for rebate for clunkers, free tank of gas, a voucher for free rust proofing, and 5 free oil changes for information leading to the arrest of the person or persons responsible for these real acts of mischief. Call Crime Stoppers today at 1-800-GET-JOHN. That's 1-800-GET-JOHN.
Hi, my name's Big Sal, and I'm Johnny T's biker alter ego. And I know some of you out there don't think you have an ego, but you do. But I'm Johnny T's ego. Now you guys up here have been picking on Johnny of his big size, and I'm going to let you know that I'm the first to admit that he's big. But you have to realize his size is made up of his ego, me. If I wasn't in there, he'd only be 100 pounds, eating smart food and driving one of those little smart cars. Make Michael Camusi happy. Now, Johnny started out growing up in Kurt River and having a normal childhood. But I knew there was something wrong with that boy. I mean, he was a little mixed up. Any kid that wears a Leafs jersey and the Canadian gloves, I mean, he doesn't have his game plan together. So I started really at a young age, and I convinced him that there was more to life than just playing simple games. There was the ride. So for hours after school, he would ride the Kawasaki through the fields in Kern River. I mean, his family was so embarrassed that they had that cow stuffed. And if you don't believe me, just drive by his house, and you'll see that cow in his yard. It broke his poor heart. Broke his heart. Every once in a while, Johnny sneaks out in the middle of the night under a full moon and jumps on that cow, and he makes those weird noises. Now, after a lot of whining and crying, his parents bought him a rockin' Harley, and he used to love to rock that Harley. Which brings me to the story of John's obsession for the ride, and me as alter ego Big Sal. I mean, after John got obsessed with the ride, he didn't want to do anything but dream about the open road. Johnny and his ego riding down the highway. I mean, he stopped playing sports, and he wasn't much help around the house except for to sneak into the pantry and get food so he can fatten up to ride a real Harley someday. And his grandma helped him. She said, "Eat, Johnny, eat. You need to be healthy, not skinny like those other kids." Well, Johnny started to get disenchanted with life, as you can see by that crazed look in his eyes. I mean, some of his teachers recognized that from pictures of psychopaths. And don't blame me, I'm just his ego. I mean, he started harassing an old Harley rider in the neighborhood. I mean, he wanted the poor bugger to take him for a ride. I mean, I started to get worried. I mean, prison's not a place for an ego like me. Frustrated, Johnny started to drink, and drink he did. To the point where his dad said, "You know what, it's time for you to get into the Kurt River Mafia." You know, a little adult guidance and some instruction on how to sell cars to munja cakes. Well, it didn't help his drinking. I mean, his problem was very severe. He sometimes drank himself to sleep in public places. I mean, things weren't looking good for Johnny. I mean, he wouldn't listen. He was almost 50 years old, and they wouldn't let him do what he wanted to do. I mean, all these years of eating and drinking, he thought for sure he was big enough to ride a Harley. So he started gambling. And then he joined some strange men's groups. I mean, some led by some unscrupulous individuals that I never trusted. And his grandma said, you always never trust a man in a skirt. He even joined an international radical function of the Kamikazes for Life. I mean, now let me tell you, as his ego, I mean, I had my game plan together, but I don't know what the hell was on this man's mind. It wasn't until his family saw a radical change in his behavior that they said, okay, Johnny, go ahead and buy your motorcycle. I mean, why does a man 50 years old need permission to get a motorcycle? But you know these Italian boys, they always listen to what their mama says. So then I started to celebrate, but I found out it was just a little too soon. I mean, we needed to find the perfect bike that I'd like too. I mean, John was a little off the wall here, not realizing, first of all, that we both need to get on the thing. I mean, we've been eating a lot all these years and getting pretty big. And I mean, pink's not a color for an ego like me. Now, and I know that size isn't important to some of you out there, but when you're riding with Johnny, it is. Finally, we found the perfect ride. And Johnny, he was transformed by me, his ego, Big Sal, into the hardcore Harley rider biker. Yeah! Next was finding a helmet. Something horny. That's what I wanted, something to turn the chicks on. So we went shopping. And soon I found out that everything that Johnny has been through really affected his brain. I mean, this is not the macho look that we needed. And you know what? This is just too damn serious. He even had some of his friends try on his choices. Hid the ears, but no chin strap. Finally, he got on the right track and created his own look. And I liked it. A real bad-looking dude. And cute and cuddly at the same time, but don't ever say you heard that from Big Sal. Now all we needed is some tattoos. Nothing tougher than a big boy painted up like a billboard. That's what Big Sal says. Next, we needed to get a gang to ride with. But you know what? All these guys seemed weird. I mean, off the wall, if you know what I mean. Too close for a big macho Sal. I mean, men touching each other on motorcycles? It doesn't seem right. And it wasn't the first gang. I mean, they all bothered me. They were all the same. Nothing like a badass Italian needs to ride with. Too much huggy. I mean, this is not right. And Big Sal didn't want to go there. I mean, you guys out there, you all agree? You know what? Finally, we found a group that was tough and macho. And we thought we found a home. You know what? But it turned out that these guys were just a bunch of clowns. Well, what do? Work with a bunch of weirdos that want to hug and love each other? Or work with a bunch of clowns? So I said, you know what? We're going to work with the clowns. And we're going to take over the clowns. And so I talked to Johnny, whispered in his ears, and we took over that group. And now he's the boss hog. Now everything's in place. Johnny got his bike. He's got his look. He's got his gang. And he's got his ego, Big Sal. So ride, Johnny, ride. And never look back. And you know what? So you don't have to get off your bike. I got you this custom set of saddlebags. With a biker potty on them. So you can drive through McDonald's and get your meals and finish the job on the road. So Johnny, Big Sal, hopes that we ride it to the sunset forever. Until your biker potty overflows. But never leaving a streak on the road for anybody. And I'm going to tell all of you out there, next time you see Johnny, you ask him about his Harley. And ask him about his ride. And you'll see a little twinkle in his eyes. And you'll know that's Big Sal.
You've done for us tonight. And it's your shot, baby. Your turn. Come on up here and give as good as you got. got it. John. John, I got nothing left. Nothing funny, anyway. Okay, Tere leaves, John leaves. Okay. Before I get started, I just want to say one thing. I wanted to quit a couple of years back and become a comedian full time. And my family, I might need a job tomorrow. Please call. Okay, who knows Maxine? That little caricature, elderly lady Maxine? Okay, 29 lines to make you smile for Maxine. My husband and I divorced over religious differences. He thought he was God, and I didn't. I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. Some people are alive only because it's illegal to kill them. I used to have a handle on life, but it broke. I'm just killing time. In case you haven't figured this out yet, so you got to forgive me if they're not all just like... Yeah, right. Am I doing okay, Billy? Okay. 3, 4, 6. 4... Okay. Danny, you got months off in the summer. You must have some material. You ready to come back up? Eh? Listen, I can die up here by myself. I don't need your help. But if you're going to be entertaining, come on back up. One good line, he wants to build his reputation on that. Okay. Beauty is in the eyes. Do we know where John has gone? In case you didn't hear, Barbara, his wife said, he's probably in the bathroom. I think he just needed to compose himself a little bit, or is he coming back? Okay, these people want to go home. They sure as hell don't want to listen to me anymore. Hey, thank you. I knew I was going to say something tonight that you people were going to appreciate. Okay. I got nothing left. Billy? Giving it back to Mad Scene. Oh, here we go. All righty. John Trevisanutto, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God, Jimmy, I don't know how you got me in that damn suit for 2 nights in a row. But now I feel okay. Okay, who took my notes? Uh-oh. No, I didn't. I didn't take them. Did I? Oh, no. Well, I got to wing it then.
Where are they? I'll go get them.
I don't need them.
Okay.
I got 3 things written down there. I don't really need it. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I think they sort of explained how I believe in good causes, giving back to the community. So don't forget to sign your cards there and make a pledge to Easter Seals. When you see these young people here, they're awesome kids. And I think we're going to sign Erica up to do our jingle from now on. Bill, take note. Oh, you know what, Bill? Never mind. George, if you want them, you got them, okay? I think, yeah, that's the number right there, George. Ask Michael all about him, okay? He's great. I want to thank John Tuco. I don't know if John's here tonight, but any guy that can take pictures that I gave him and make me look like I did, 20 years younger, 100 pounds thinner, I mean, he's my hero. So thanks a lot, John. And for those of you that don't know, I think John donates his time to do these sketches, and I really appreciate that. It's an interesting night. I don't think there were many surprises for most of you. There might be some surprises for you guys. But the first thing is, there's this question out there that I keep getting asked, and I'm starting to get tired of it. So, guys, can you all stand up? Come on, all 5 of you. Now, go like this. Go, bend over. Now, why the hell wouldn't I wear my hair like this? You can sit down now, John. So, as I've been telling everybody, I do because I can. These guys can't say that. So, it's great. Bill Wrightsell. I've known Bill for a long time. We had a really good relationship, Bill. It went for a long time. And I really want to thank you for that. My head, after hearing all the accolades, even the jokes, my head's like this. I'm going to have to borrow Terry McDonald's nose and John Jones's ears just to look normal. Tere has gotten into running and cycling, and anybody that knows Tere knows that he does nothing unless it's 100%. He is so thin. It scared the heck out of me the other night. It was just before Halloween. He came, all I saw was this nose walking down the sidewalk. I had no idea what it was. Tere, you gotta grow the mustache back. You gotta do something. I mean, it's brutal. But and I thought he looked quite good as my alter ego. Don't you agree? And you can tell John Aiken is retiring. The only accountant I've ever known who now has a sense of humor. It was really awesome. And Mike Aldrich, well, I'm surprised he got through it. He's an emotional guy. Like, I mean, every time I tell him the price of a vehicle, he starts crying. You know, I don't know if it's got anything to do with the fact that he wears a kilt and he's Scottish. But I'll tell you, I was following him in here. I didn't know what was squeaking more, the bagpipes or, anyway. But his wife knows that, you know, he's very tight, very, very, very tight. His children wanted to come to this event. He wouldn't spring it for them. He wouldn't spring, they're at home crying because, you know, Mike wouldn't do it. But you did not a bad job, Michael. I'm really appreciative of it. So all in all, I think it's been a fun evening. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did. I really appreciate the fact that, as I said, you all came out. I want to thank my son-in-law, Marcus. I had him doing a lot of phone calls. I was on his case riding him for the last 3 weeks, and if he doesn't quit now, he'll never quit. So, Marcus, thanks for the good job you did. And I want to thank my family, my wife, my 5 children. They've had to put up with me for a long time. And I appreciate the support that they give me. I can tell you that anything that I get involved in, they're behind me 100%. I can never find them to get any money. They're always behind me. So, you know, it's really frustrating. And, you know, I'm also blessed with some good partners who allow me to do the things that I do. I have one partner. He's, if you can imagine this, he's a school teacher and he's an accountant. Now, you want to talk about somebody with absolutely no sense of humor. And along with that, the cheapest guy you've ever seen in the world. But we're so happy he works for us because, you know, like, he doesn't sign the checks. I got to put up with the phone calls from people saying, you know, like, are you going to pay that bill? I mean, John Jones's dad walks in our new building the other night. The first thing he says to me, have you paid for this building yet? I mean, you know, like, and I said, sorry, TA, I haven't paid for it yet. I can't get a check out of Sam. And Bruno, where's Bruno? Oh, there he is. Bruno. You know, Bruno wants to be a new car dealer. And he really tries hard on it. And this is a little bit of an old joke because I told it to him at his 60th birthday. The difference between him and I, he wants to be a new car dealer. I am your new car dealer. Sorry, Bruno. I know where my son gets it from. I'm laughing at my own jokes. Thank goodness. We all do that at home. In closing, again, thanks to these guys for stepping up to the plate. They were very nervous. I wasn't. And they did an awesome job. And I know they put a lot of work into it. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate everybody coming out. drive safely. Don't forget to leave a donation on the table for Easter seals, and have a good night. Thanks.